Hey fam, listen up. You thought they saw you, huh? Nah, they didn't. Every move, every glance, every dumb act you faked, they bought it. Yeah, they laughed, mocked, and whispered behind your back. Oh wow, they thought the game was theirs. But guess what? Every single mistake you made was a lie, a trap, a setup. They had no idea, no clue, no suspicion, until the moment came, the moment you flipped the script, the moment you played your real card, the one they never saw coming. And now, oh yeah, now the tables turn, the storm rises, and they realize they were fooled, big time. They thought you were nothing, a shadow wandering aimlessly in the bright light of their arrogance. Oh wow, they laughed. They laughed at every word you spoke. They chuckled at your gestures, at the pauses in your sentences, at the very silence they mistook for fear. Every glance they threw your way was sharp, intended to cut, to expose you, to remind you of where you supposedly belonged, the corner of fools. But here's the brutal truth. They were blind, completely blind. You weren't the fool they believed you to be. You were the calm eye in the storm they created, the still water hiding depths they would never understand. Yeah, it was delicious watching them stumble over assumptions, weaving their arrogance into a cloak that blinded them. They saw your mistakes, or what they believed were mistakes, and nodded smugly, thinking they were wiser, stronger, faster. Nah, every misstep was deliberate. Every stumble was a lesson wrapped in mystery. They were studying the wrong person. They thought they knew the rules of the game. They thought the game was theirs. But the joke, the exquisite, cruel joke, was that you had been holding the real rules the entire time. Your silence screamed. Your inaction stung. Every smirk they threw at you, every dismissive motion, it fed the fire quietly growing inside your chest. They could not see it, could not feel it, could not anticipate it. Oh, the beauty of invisibility, of being underestimated, of letting the world underestimate the one who observes quietly, calculating endlessly. You became a mirror, reflecting back every flaw, every arrogance, every misjudgment, until the world itself began to wobble from the weight of its own overconfidence. They whispered, they plotted. They patted themselves on the back for being clever, for recognizing your weakness. And yet with each passing day, you gathered strength from what they offered willingly. Lessons disguised as insults, wisdom disguised as ridicule, clarity disguised as chaos. Every laugh, every word, every glance, they were handing you pieces of a puzzle that they would never complete themselves. And as you watched, as you learned, as you waited, you understood the most frightening truth for them. They had been training you all along, unknowingly crafting a force they could never control. Patience. Patience is not surrender. Patience is the unseen hand that moves the pieces, the quiet storm before the lightning strikes, the calm before the world tilts. They thought patience was weakness. They thought waiting meant defeat. But here is the edge of reality. Patience is a strategy. Patience is power. And when the moment arrives, the world will tilt, and the fool they believed you to be will become a legend. And now, as their arrogance bubbles and their shadows grow long, a question lingers in the air, sharper than any blade, darker than any night. Let them think they've won, but tell me, who laughs last? Patience is not surrender. It is the quiet storm no one sees coming. Oh, the waiting. the exquisite, torturous waiting. While they paraded their supposed victories, crowing over imagined weaknesses, you were nowhere near defeated. Nah, not even close. Every laugh they threw, every smirk of superiority, every shallow celebration only fed the reservoir of power silently swelling within you. They didn't notice, could not feel, and would never understand. Patience was your weapon. Patience was the battlefield they could not perceive, the arena where you sharpened yourself with invisible precision. Yeah, every moment of quiet, every breath held, every glance averted, it was intentional. They assumed inaction meant fear, indecision, even ignorance. But you were calculating, learning, observing, dissecting. Every word they spoke became a blueprint. Every gesture, a hint. Every misstep, a gift. They were blind architects, constructing walls around a mind that had already escaped, soaring above their foolish constructs. Oh wow, it was a beautiful irony. The ones who laughed at you were unknowingly giving you the tools to rewrite their entire perception of reality. And while they celebrated, you studied their patterns, their arrogance, their overconfidence, their impatience. Every flaw was magnified for you alone. You felt the rhythm of their world, the predictable beats of their pride and folly. Every misjudgment, every underestimate became a brick in the fortress of your strategy. They thought they controlled the board, but the board had always been yours. They were actors, and you were the director. Every move they thought clever, every word they imagined a victory. It was all leading to the moment when your unseen hand would strike. Patience is silent dominance. Patience is invisible authority. Patience is the calm before the storm that no one can escape. And as the days stretched into nights, as the world carried on under the illusion of your weakness, you strengthened, not with noise, not with display, not with empty gestures, but with discipline, with observation, with an unshakable understanding of the game itself. They never noticed, they never questioned, and in that oversight, you thrived. Oh, the satisfaction of knowing that every insult, every disregard, every mocking glance had been a lesson they freely gave you. They trained you, they hardened you, they sharpened your awareness without ever realizing it. Every mistake they observed, every misstep they assumed, became a step forward in your silent ascent. They never realized they were giving birth to a force they could not contain. And soon, very soon, the veil of their ignorance would shatter. And as the tension builds, as every hidden piece aligns, one thought pierces through the quiet. And when the time comes, will they even recognize the hand that strikes? Fools rush to show their power. The wise let it whisper until it roars. Oh, the moment finally arrives. The air thickens with anticipation, the tension palpable. They still believe they know you. They still cling to the illusion that they control the game, that the pieces are aligned in their favor. Nah, the truth is far sharper, far darker than their petty minds can handle. Every mask you wore, every stumble they witnessed, every act of seeming weakness, it was all a prelude, all a carefully choreographed performance to lull them into complacency. And now, oh wow, the scene flips. The predator they underestimated is no longer hidden in shadows. Yeah, they are shocked, confused, panicked. Every move they assumed was calculated by them now unravels in real time. Every word they said about you, every sneer they threw, every dismissive laugh, they feel the weight of it bouncing back. They thought the fool sat at the table, meek and harmless, but the fool never existed. The mastermind, the one holding all the cards, has emerged. And the beauty is this: they never saw it coming. Every glance they cast, every attempt to read you fails. You have become the storm they failed to predict, the force that bends reality to your rhythm, the hand that writes the rules as the world watches, stunned. Patience, restraint, observation. They were not weaknesses. They were weapons disguised as harmlessness. Every calculated silence, every measured act of inaction, every moment of waiting, it all converges now into something undeniable, something unstoppable. Oh, the irony is exquisite. The very arrogance that blinded them, the very pride that made them mock you, is what makes your revelation lethal. You were underestimated at every turn, and underestimated you remained until now. And as you step forward, they see it. The weight of your presence, the clarity of your purpose, the precision of your strategy. Nothing is chaotic, nothing is impulsive. Every move is intentional. Every gesture resonates with unshakable authority. Every hidden truth, every suppressed strength, now revealed. They realized the game was never theirs. Every moment they thought they were winning, every moment they laughed, every moment they assumed control, they were dancing to your rhythm. Oh wow, and they didn't even know it. Yeah, and the panic, the disbelief, the subtle tremor in their confidence that is the proof of your victory before a single word is spoken. They were blind to the process, blind to the patience, blind to the force you cultivated silently. Now, clarity pierces the illusion like a dagger. They see it, they feel it. They understand too late. The fool they dismissed, the quiet observer they ignored, is the one who dictates the outcome. And as the echoes of their arrogance collapse around them, as the masks of their confidence shatter, one truth remains, one chilling, magnetic inevitability. Do they realize they were the ones learning from you all along? True strength does not announce itself. It hides in plain sight, waiting for the moment the world finally bends to it. Oh, the world never noticed you. They never did. They focused on noise, on bluster, on the empty gestures of power they believed mattered. Nah, that was their mistake. Power is not in the shout. Power is not in the visible. Power is in restraint, in patience, in the quiet calculation of every step while the world dances to its own assumptions. Every act of chaos they expected, every flash of impulsivity they assumed, never came. You moved in silence. You built in shadows. And now, the force they ignored is undeniable. Yeah, it is intoxicating. Watching them scramble, realizing that every action they thought would manipulate you has only strengthened your position. Every insult thrown, every attempt to control or predict you, bounced back into the void, feeding the engine of your strategy. They never saw it. Oh wow, they never even imagined it. They believed the game was theirs, but every subtle movement, every hidden calculation, every careful pause, they were learning from you all along. Your power is not loud, not flamboyant. It is methodical, deliberate, invisible to those blinded by their arrogance. Every weakness they thought they saw in you was a lie, a mask, a tool designed to draw out their true nature. They exposed themselves. Their flaws are now your allies. Their ignorance, your instrument, and as they stumble through the web, they unknowingly helped you weave. You stand apart, untouchable, unwavering, untamed. Oh, the satisfaction of this unseen authority is cruelly precise. They cannot fight it because it was never theirs to fight. It is the rhythm of your mind, the discipline of your patience, the inevitability of strategy perfected in silence. They measure everything by noise and flash, by instant gratification and visible triumphs. Yeah, but they fail to understand the depth of a force that waits, observes, and strikes only when the time is perfect. You are not reactive. You are inevitable. And now, as the shadow of your strength stretches across their illusions, as their confidence crumbles under the weight of unseen mastery, they begin to feel it. The tremor in their certainty, the uncertainty in their predictions, the subtle, terrifying realization that the hand they thought weak was always the hand that controlled the board. Oh, the irony is exquisite, the truth almost unbearable. Every attempt to dominate, to mock, to undermine, they only sharpened you. They only created the storm they will never survive. Your unseen power is a lesson in restraint and wisdom. It is a testament to the strength built quietly, patiently, ethically, without the need for display or applause. And as the world around you quakes in subtle recognition, one thought pierces the silence, more powerful than any shout, more precise than any blade. So tell me, who truly holds the deck? The world adores a spectacle, but it trembles at inevitability. Oh, the moment is here. Every second of silence, every act of patience, every calculated misstep, it converges into this. The world thought they understood the board, thought they controlled the pieces, thought the fool in the corner would never matter. Nah. Everything they believed was a lie. And now, oh wow, the hand they dismissed as weak rises, unwavering, unshakable, unstoppable. Yeah, they scramble, they panic, they try to regain control. But it is too late. Every move they thought would trap you, every strategy they imagined would corner you, collapses under the weight of your unseen mastery. Every glance, every whisper, every misjudgment, they underestimated you. They never saw it coming. They cannot comprehend the precision of the moment. The mask of weakness falls, revealing the truth. The hand that was always quiet, always patient, always unnoticed, is the one that wins. You step forward. Not with arrogance, not with chaos, but with clarity, with discipline, with the inevitability of a force perfected in silence. Every lesson they tried to teach you, every insult they threw, every attempt to manipulate, they became your allies. You are not reacting, you are the consequence. The world bends, adjusts, trembles, and realizes the fool was never foolish. The quiet observer was the master. Oh, the satisfaction is absolute. And they stare, wide-eyed, realizing the patterns they missed, the signals they ignored, the discipline they mocked. Every step you took, every pause, every act of seeming weakness, it was a thread in a web they unknowingly spun for themselves. Yeah, and now the web collapses, not on you but around them. Their arrogance, their impatience, their inability to see beyond the noise, all of it becomes their undoing. Oh wow. And you, untouched, untamed, untouchable. Nah, they cannot fight inevitability. They cannot counter what they never understood. The hand they believed harmless holds the final card. The so-called fool they dismiss dictates the rhythm, writes the rules, controls the outcome. Every moment of doubt, every hesitation they caused in you, every misjudged glance, it fueled the force they cannot escape. And now, as the last domino falls, as the world tilts under the weight of silent, unseen authority, you remain calm, precise, inevitable. And in the stillness that follows the collapse of their illusions, one thought dominates, sharper than any noise, heavier than any weight. The hand you thought weak was always the strongest. The game ends, not with chaos, not with loud spectacle, but with truth. A truth so subtle that those who ignored it all their lives only realized too late. The fool, the silent one, the patient observer, has always been the force that determines the world's balance. Every underestimate, every mockery, every dismissal, they built you into this. And now, as the echoes of inevitability settle, the final revelation emerges. Mastery does not demand applause. Mastery demands recognition, but only when the moment is perfect, only when the world can no longer deny it. Oh, the quiet storm has spoken. The mask is gone, the card is played, and those who laughed, they learn, finally, what it means to face a power they never saw, never understood, and never anticipated. And now, do they finally see the game was never theirs to win? And now, they finally see it. The fool never existed. The master, always there. Every move, every pause, every silent second, it was all leading here. Oh wow, the moment of truth, the final reveal. You played your real card, and the world shook. Yeah, shook like they never imagined. They underestimated you, they mocked you, they laughed, but who's laughing now? Nah, the game was yours from the start. And as the echoes of their arrogance fade, you stand unshaken, untouchable, unstoppable. Remember this: the quiet, patient, unseen, always holds the power. Always, always. Hey buddy, wait a second. You're not gonna believe this, right? A Secret Service agent. Yeah, a real one. Not some online wannabe. Just endorsed you. Like what? They said you should run for office? Are you hearing this? Or am I losing my mind? Because this ain't just talk, bro. This is confirmation. The people who guard power just said you belong in it. Oh, yeah, let that sink in for a sec. You were never chasing attention. Attention started chasing you. You know what that means? It means every sleepless night, every time you stayed calm when the world went crazy, it was noticed. They saw your focus, your self-control, your silence that spoke louder than all their noise. And now the system that once ignored you is quietly nodding like, yeah, this one's built different. The person who was overlooked, now endorsed. The one they doubted, now trusted. And you didn't beg for it. You earned it. Every scar, every lonely walk, every time you refused to fake your values, it led here. Yeah, this one's personal, for the real ones. For the quiet fighters, for the ones who kept walking when nobody clapped. I see you. I respect you. This one's for you. So drop a comment right now if you've ever been underestimated, if you've ever felt like the world slept on your potential, because after tonight's words, they won't anymore. Sometimes power doesn't knock. It leans close and whispers your name. That's how it begins. Quiet, almost unreal. A voice behind you, calm, certain, official. A Secret Service agent. Not a dreamer, not a talker. Not someone who wastes breath on fantasy. A man who's seen the worst of people, the best too. A man whose entire job is to protect power, not praise it. Yet tonight, he looked at you, straight, no hesitation, and said you should run for office. Oh? Did you hear that right? It wasn't flattery. It wasn't gossip. It was a verdict. A sentence passed from someone who's seen what real authority looks like. You stood there, a little stunned, maybe, feeling the air shift, because this wasn't just about politics. It was about you, about how you've carried yourself while everyone else folded under pressure, about how you've moved when no one was watching. You didn't beg for it. You didn't chase it. You became it. That's the difference. And he saw it. Yeah. The same agent who guards leaders from the crowd just pointed at you and said you belong among them. Let that sink in. The world doesn't hand out endorsements like that. It studies you first. Your silence, your reactions, your scars. It waits to see if you'll crumble under its stare. Most do, but you didn't. You stared back. And in that unspoken moment, a strange truth was revealed. You were being tested all along. People think recognition arrives with applause. No, it arrives in whispers. In those quiet confirmations from those who've seen the battlefield up close. The ones who know what real grit looks like. The agent's words weren't random. They were earned. One sleepless night at a time, one moral decision after another. Oh, right? The same world that once doubted you is now taking notes. And maybe that's the part that stings the old version of you, the one who used to wait for someone's permission to matter. You used to think you needed validation, didn't you? That someone had to tell you you're ready. But this isn't validation. It's a revelation. A message carved from observation and truth. The man's eyes said it all. He wasn't just talking about politics. He was talking about leadership, about presence, about the kind of mind that refuses to be swallowed by noise. You didn't play by their rules, and somehow that's exactly why you caught the attention of those who enforced them. Oh yeah, irony bites, doesn't it? The same system that once ignored you now nods in recognition. And maybe, just maybe, it's because you've carried yourself like someone who already had authority long before the title arrived. People can feel it. Authority isn't granted, it's recognized. The agent saw what others tried to hide. Your control, your calm, your quiet strength that doesn't need validation. You didn't need the stage to prove your worth. You became the stage. And when power sees that, it bows, even if just a little. Nah, this isn't luck. This is the result of every hard choice you made when no one clapped for you. Every time you stayed patient instead of exploding. Every time you walked away instead of lowering your values. They watched. Oh yes, they watched. And now, they're speaking. But don't smile yet. Recognition isn't the finish line. It's the opening shot. The real question isn't why you were chosen. It's what you'll do now that you've been seen. Because when someone from inside the walls of power points to you, they're not giving you a crown. They're giving you a challenge. Every door that leads to power is made of flame. Step through, and it will either forge you or burn you. Because the moment you're invited into power, the real test begins. The lights get brighter, the silence gets heavier. Suddenly every word, every movement, every glance is measured, weighed, and whispered about in rooms you'll never see. Oh, it feels different, doesn't it? You thought the challenge was to be noticed, but no. The real challenge is surviving the spotlight without melting in it. People will start smiling at you now. Faces that never cared will appear, speaking in polite tones, pretending they always believed in you. They'll call it support, but you'll feel the shift, that slow pull, where everyone wants a piece of your influence. That's what power does. It attracts not only loyalty, but also hunger. Yeah, you'll start to see what most never do, that leadership is less about ruling others and more about mastering yourself. The agent saw that in you. He saw the restraint, the discipline, the refusal to lose your center, even when chaos tried to pull you apart. That's why he endorsed you. Because the world doesn't need louder voices, it needs steadier hands. But here's the catch. The moment you rise, people start to study your reflection. They'll test it, poke it, try to find cracks in it. They'll whisper lies, hoping they sound like truth. Oh wow. You'll see how easy it is to lose balance when your name starts echoing in unfamiliar rooms. You'll feel the pressure to speak softer, to fit in, to make deals that silence your fire. Nah, that's not why you were chosen. You were chosen because you refused to kneel when things got hard. Because your silence carried more weight than their speeches. You were chosen because when others played games, you stayed grounded in purpose. But here's the part that separates the real from the false. The ones who walk into power thinking it's a reward never survive it. The ones who walk in knowing it's a battlefield, they last. And that's you. You've walked through storms without losing your calm. You've stood in rooms where truth wasn't welcome and still refused to lie. You've carried your principles like armor, not for attention, but for survival. Now, as you stand on the edge of that new stage, you'll feel the fire licking at your feet. It's tempting, isn't it? To step back, to say you're not ready. But deep down, you know the truth. This was never about being ready. It's about being willing. Because power doesn't test your words. It tests your endurance. It tests whether your values remain steady when the rewards start whispering. Oh, wow. Right? You're realizing it now? This isn't a promotion, it's a purification. The kind that burns away weakness, leaving only truth. Yeah, this is where you find out what you're really made of. The agent's words weren't an ending. They were a torch being passed. But remember this, fire doesn't just reveal light, it exposes shadows. The brighter the spotlight, the sharper the reflection. And the moment your shadow steps into the light, everyone will see what you've been hiding. That's the truth about power. It doesn't only expose others, it exposes you. The same people who cheer for you will watch closely, searching for the smallest crack. Oh, the air feels different when you realize eyes aren't just admiring you anymore, they're measuring you. You start to feel the weight of your own reflection. Every strength becomes a question. Every silence becomes a mystery. Every smile, a signal someone tries to decode. And that's when you learn leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about staying authentic when perfection becomes the trap. Yeah, you'll face judgment from people who never walked a single step in your shoes. They'll analyze your tone, your choices, even your past mistakes. They'll call it accountability, but deep down, it's curiosity mixed with envy. That's how power works. It makes everyone stare, even those who pretend they don't care. But here's the twist. Light doesn't just reveal flaws. It also shows what's real. It separates the mask from the face. And when the world sees that you didn't fake your rise, that you carried yourself with integrity when no one was watching, something changes. They may not admit it, but they feel it. Respect doesn't always sound like applause. Sometimes it's just silence that listens. Nah, don't get too comfortable though, because that same silence, it hides opinions sharp enough to cut. Some will doubt your intentions. Some will question your right to stand where you stand. And that's when the real test begins. Not of your ability, but of your character. Oh, this is where many fall. They start performing for approval instead of leading with purpose. They adjust their truth to please the crowd, forgetting that power respects clarity, not confusion. But you're different. The agent didn't choose you because you were flawless. He chose you because you were consistent. Because even in the dark, you made decisions that would still look right under the light. That's what the world is seeing now. Not a hero, not a savior, but a human being who refuses to lose his center. A person who's learning that strength isn't loud. You don't need to defend yourself from every critic. You don't need to explain your past to every whisper. Let them talk. Let them test you. The light doesn't scare someone who knows what he stands for. It only blinds those who never had a foundation to begin with. Yeah, this is your reflection moment, when you realize that every shadow cast behind you only proves that the light is finally yours. But still, the higher you climb, the colder the air becomes. The spotlight may warm your face, but the isolation that comes with it chills the soul. Power isn't loud. It whispers when everyone else stops speaking. Because when the applause fades and the room empties, who will you become when you're finally alone with power? That's the question that breaks the strong and exposes the proud. When there's no one left to impress, when the crowd has vanished and the lights go cold, that's when the real leader steps forward, or disappears. Oh wow, it's strange, isn't it? How silence suddenly feels heavier than noise. You'll notice it the first night it happens. You'll walk through a room once filled with voices, now echoing only your footsteps. The laughter that surrounded you hours ago, gone. The smiles, vanished. All that's left is the quiet hum of your own thoughts. And they're louder than you expected. That's what power does. It doesn't just raise your voice. It confronts your conscience. Yeah? This is where titles mean nothing. No badges, no followers, no applause, just you, the person beneath all the layers. You'll start to ask yourself questions you can't avoid. Did I take the easy road today? Did I speak for truth? Or did I speak for comfort? Did I serve, or did I perform? These questions haunt the halls of every great mind that ever held influence. Because the silence of power is a mirror, and it shows everything. Oh, it's brutal. You start to realize that the spotlight was never the danger, it was the silence after it. That's when temptations crawl in quietly. Not to ruin your reputation, but to test your intentions. They whisper that no one will know if you cut a corner here or compromise there. But you remember what got you here. Discipline, patience, truth. You know that the easiest decision is rarely the right one. Nah, don't let comfort trick you. Power always comes with a price. Not in gold, but in focus. The moment you relax too much, it slips through your hands. That's why so many who rise end up hollow. They lose their clarity, trying to keep their comfort. But not you. You were built in discomfort. You were shaped in struggle. You learned to stand without applause and act without approval. That's your edge. Yeah. This is the real battlefield, not out there among enemies, but in here, within your own thoughts. The war between what's easy and what's right never ends. And when you win that war in silence, you carry something far greater than fame. You carry trust. Oh, now you see it. The agent didn't endorse you for your charisma or charm. He saw your restraint. He saw that even when you could have spoken louder, you chose to stay balanced. That's what separates the momentary from the timeless. But remember, the higher you rise in power, the deeper your choices echo. Every decision you make will ripple through others, for better or worse. And now, look at you, the same person they overlooked. The same one they whispered about behind closed doors, just got endorsed by a Secret Service agent. Oh wow. Yeah, read that again, endorsed. You didn't chase their stage, you built your own. You didn't need permission, you became the reason they started paying attention. That's different. That's rare. That's power earned through patience. Nah. This isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of their realization. They thought you were quiet because you were weak, but you were quiet because you were focused. And now the ones who laughed are suddenly speechless. Huh. Oh. It feels good, doesn't it? That quiet revenge called growth. That moment when your presence speaks louder than any argument. You didn't have to prove anything. Your progress did it for you. Yeah. They said you should run for office. But truth is, you've already been leading. Every time you stood for what's right. Every time you carried yourself with calm and chaos. Every time you made the hard choice when no one was watching. That was leadership. So here's your reminder. Don't shrink for anyone. Don't dim your fire because others can't handle the heat. You've earned your space. You've earned your respect. If this speech hit you, if it lit that spark inside you, drop a comment below. I want to see the real ones. The ones who rise in silence. The ones who move with discipline, not drama. The ones who are ready for what's next. Because now, the agent's words are just the beginning.